Alright, I'm back with another video. Sorry, it's been a while. Had to move and do some stuff and tend to some real life stuff. But as far as the books that I've read and finished, I want to talk about a few of them today. First, I'm going to talk about Reclaiming the Power of Hoodoo by Alicia J. Brown. It's a book about, hoodoo, the practice of hoodoo, what it is, the different aspects of it, as far as rituals, spells, different trinkets and different things that kind of go with hoodoo and how there have been misconceptions in the media over the years and how it's been misrepresented and how it hasn't been um, fully realized as a closed practice religion for African Americans, specifically in the South and in the United States and in the Caribbean as well. I won't go too much into detail about this book because it's going to garner a lot of opinions and think pieces and stuff like that. But I suggest people read it, especially if you were African American descent. I think you should definitely read this book and get a better understanding on some forgotten aspects that came from the era of slavery and before that. Next, I revisited Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton. Towards the end of the book, I didn't read the foreword, not the foreword. I forgot what it's called off the top of my head, but it was a passage at the end of the book that I didn't read. I read back and read it. It gave me some better context on some stuff. Not really too much to really talk about for say, more towards just giving better context about the different opinions of different Black Panther Party members during that time and why some of them were let go, why some were, at odds, why Huey P. was at odds with some of them, how some of them kind of led astray and tried to make the group go on their own philosophical belief system. It just really goes more into detail about that type of stuff. So if you're into crime and law and different espionage, stuff like that, then definitely reading a whole entire book entirely is definitely something you should read. Outside of that, it does talk about Huey P. Newton's life, how he came to be, how he formed the Black Panther Party, the ideas that shaped his belief system that led him and Bobby Seals to make the Black Panther Party. That's probably the best way I can say. If you see me looking off into this direction, because I'm looking at this other screen, so I can better give y'all the actual title without having to forget about them. Next book I read was Anna, Mia, and Me, an eating disorder memoir. Well, eating disorder recovery memoir, second edition. This book's more personal. I do not have an eating addiction. This is not about me. For anybody who starts trying to attack me, anything like that, I want to read this because it happens to people in my life that have complicated issues, especially with food. So, me reading this was a kind of coming full circle, trying to understand my peers and my friends and family a little bit better. So that's why I read this book. It details kind of the personal feelings and kind of the thought process of somebody that has an eating disorder, some of the things that they might not always say, kind of in the community of people that do deal with this disorder. Some of the different things they deal with as far as symptoms, mindset, other disorders that form from this disorder, things of that nature. So if you're into that type of stuff, trigger warning, it is a lot of different I would say hard to swallow passages about different things. So if you're really, it does get descriptive with the physical description of the person who is dealing with this eating disorder at different parts in their life. So if you do get squeamish at the thought of bones and overindulging in things to the point of like throwing up or things of that nature, I wouldn't recommend reading this book. But if you are of sound mind and body and you feel like you can handle this type of descriptive language, then I suggest you read it. Another book I finished with Negroes with Guns. I think I made a separate video about that, but Robert Franklin Williams, of course, wrote this book. Black activists talked about kind of more in detail from a black perspective on the different things that were happening around that time and how just it paints a picture of just how grim life was for African Americans during that time outside of just the regular, documentary style. It gives more of a hands-on personal account of different events and why he was placed on the news and why there were certain things said about him. Um, that's really about it. It isn't a very long book, by the way. It's a very short book. If you want to get a good short historical account of different situations and events that happened around a certain time period, I suggest you read this book. I think that is about it. I'm not sure if I think I talked about this book already, but I'm not sure. But Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. The Emotional Lives of Black Women. I cannot pronounce her name, but I apologize. But I will put a picture, or all links for all these books will be in the description. But this book talks about the emotional lives of black women as far as, different traditionary norms that became, problematic in today's time, the different things we consider to be normal. It's talks about from a female's perspective, so you won't get a lot of male insight on this. So if you're looking for more of a male insight on racism and discrimination, you get a deeper understanding of the American psyche as far as African Americans. You might want to look elsewhere, but if you do want to delve into the emotional lives of black women, this is a great book to kind of get a entry level starting position in this. So, for a little bit of context to it, most of the book is mostly about going over the correlation between mental health and black women, especially in the black community, especially with older generations. They don't really believe in mental disorders and things of that nature. They have this very grind mindset of just don't worry about it, just work through it, just it's just a bunch of nonsense. So it kind of shows a highlight between the current generation of black women and versus the old generation of black women, how the different methods kind of correlate and kind of friction against each other. So it kind of deals with that. It does touch on a softer side of family dynamics in the black community. It's not really talked about a lot. You don't really see a lot of conflict between the mother and daughter, and kind of even the grandmother and daughter. When I say daughter, I mean the daughter of the already present daughter from the grandmother. So it could be a bit of a disconnect from a grandmother to a granddaughter. Probably a better way to say that. Yeah, it's it's a very good book. I think a lot of people should read it, especially if you have a mom, daughter, grandmother, any female member of your family. I suggest getting them this book. I did get a friend, and then I got my mom and my sister this book, so I recommend it. Other than that, I believe that is all I have read so far. Like I said, link in the description for all the different books and whatnot. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.